Right, watcher, you know where we are. Number 10, by the way. There's the 4 holes, all prep our head, and there's the spacers. Sadly I can't find, a piece of metal tubing the exact length would be the proper way to fabricate this, but I don't have one, but I do have some nuts. So I've got to weld them together, like we said in the last one, so that they're correct and that the hole is where the hole is and it isn't off center. And so there's a little bit of preparation. Do a good job and then weld my nuts together. So, welcome to part 10 where I weld my nuts together. Stick around. Right, easiest way to prep them up or to get them done in pairs, kind of simple solution, is bang them on a bolt and nut, bang them together. Now the idea is I've got to weld 2 sets together, and I'm going to weld them 3 sides, so rather than just keep trying to line them up, just use this as a little holding jig. Now they're drilled through, but one hole's ever so slightly bigger than the other, and that doesn't really matter because in the fullness of time I'm gonna bung a drill bit through the whole lot in the end anyway, just to line up the holes, but don't need to be any worse than they can. And this just holds them nice and firm. So the welder and the heat isn't going to move them, because I'm just going to burn them up on maximum power. Big nasty munter of a burn. Just burn them together. You can just feel that burning. Burn it, you bastard. That's better. And that is way better. Way better. Right, as in the last one, going full power on the welder, absolute full power, and then just a low wire speed, so it doesn't build anything, but it just burns them together. Bit of slag in there. Get the slag out. Get out your slag. Need a heater. Right. Okay. Mind your eyes. That even sounds different. Sounds businesslike. But we don't need to go to these kind of levels, this kind of extent, just to weld 8 nuts together, but it's kind of because you can. You know how it is. And it doesn't even sound very nice, but it ain't half welding well. It smells weird. Gas running there. Oh, plenty of gas. Right, here we are. They're a bit wonky, they're not perfect, but then they're sort of, because they're hand done on a lapper and not a turn up. If I'd had a lathe, I could have just turned them up, piece of cake. Or I could have even just got a piece of tubing. But a piece of tubing that thickness, that wall thickness, is quite rare, quite specialised, and I ain't got it. And of course, the other side of it is, it wouldn't be as fun to make. So now I've got to do is weld them accurately over those holes, which are accurately placed so they measure up on the frame down there, and then be able to weld them in place nice and accurately without fear of ending up like that and then having to bugger about and bore them out and make a bodge. So just set the welder up, let's tack them in place, just tack them in, see how they look. Right, bit painstaking, but the easiest way to get them so that they're absolutely lined up is bolt them in. That way, if they're off, welders like to push things around. When that wire pushes into the job, it can move the piece apart. So the best way, just take a bit of time and set it up so it's absolutely in the middle, and then use a nut and bolt just to hold it in place. Ain't going anywhere then. A sharp tip. Right. Certainly has. Gluing the bastard in. Earth strap. Earth to Major Tom. Brilliant. Must try harder, problem child. This is really good practice for future projects like frame welding, welding tubes together, getting the settings right and practicing the flow, etc. And welding in an awkward place as well. That's it. Yeah, get in there. Kind of creaking as it's cooling down, but it's straight as you can see, no warpage, and I think we can safely call that properly penetrated. We welders who actually know how to do it properly, what do you reckon? Don't know, ain't bad. Right, clearly a little bit of body work needed just to hide them, but it will only be filler primer, a little bit of thick primer, a couple of coats, block that out and that'll be fine, you won't see them. Right, bolting on time, a little bit of a test fit. Like a chef does tasting, we do test fitting. Now these are the bolts that hold it on. They're like one of them. And obviously, where are we? Magneticus. They're pretty magnetic. So they're pretty crap really. These are the other ones I had. That's upside down here, there we are. That's the ones I had to go on. And again, they're plated, mild steel. So I've been out, purchased stainless, decent quality stainless. That's the horn bolt, and then there's 4 of these that hold the plate on. There's one that holds the horn on. So I've got a short one to hold the horn on, and 4 long reach stainless, and these are a really good grade stainless. The idea being that they'll last in that environment, and these heads, even if they get all full of cack and rust, they'll last. And we've got stainless washers to go with them, and that whole lot, those 5 bolts and 15 washers, we've got a little diddy one for each, and then 2 plate ones, one for either side, all in stainless, the whole lot, £3.56. Bolt suppliers. Don't you love them? Right, don't need them for now. Let's whack it on the bike. Right, okay, for want of a camera girl, show you that. That obviously has to be, that plate obviously has to be there because that's a frame brace. So that's the length of these spacers was calculated including this plate so that the whole thing makes the correct depth. So let's bolt it on and see if, first of all, we can find the holes and it sits at the right depth. Now these bolts are obviously a little bit long, but that's good because there'll be plenty of threadage stuck through the other side. There it is. Let's get them all in. Now what I'm looking for is to make sure I've got this depth correct and that the whole thing's off the frame by about 5 or 6 mil as intended. Obviously there'll be washers on here. Obviously it'll be properly fitted. This is just a little test fit. Oops. Here we are. That's a good sign. There we go. Right. Let's pick you up. Okay, so it's a good sign. All the bolts go in neatly by hand without any tools. And and that all bolts up nice and evenly. Little tiny bit of warp there, but that will be dressed out. Now, the most important thing is, whether you can see it, right now, that's all bolted in. Here's the little acid test. There's a little bit close there. All the way up, right. Now that's currently sitting about 3mm off the frame, all the way up. That's nice, that's 5mm off the frame at the top. That's a nice distance, that ain't going anywhere. It's neat and solid, and that's bolted in good and tight. So obviously what I'm going to do is put a washer just on the inside of those plates, so that when it goes in, that gives me another 2mm, because there's about 3. You can see daylight through there. That's what we need. Not too much, but again, you don't want it touching. There we are, there's your daylight right there. Okay, right, now do for now. Right, there you go, that's been number 10. Now I've got to fit them out, the bit underneath the body, under the belly, that's going to flap about if it's not secured, so I'll come up with a nice neat little clip or bracket or something. That's the next bit, so I've got to think about that before I do it. For now, I've had enough. It's 3 hours, dirty, go indoors, get cleaned, get this uploaded. Thanks for watching, take it easy, that's been part 10. Ride safe, and see you next time.